Mungus is back. Latias is not at reduced special attack this time. It's weakness policy Lunala this whole time? Are you kidding me? They've been so carefully protecting it from the body press, and all this time it benefited from the body press? VGC Legends. It's the series where I spin a wheel, I get a random legendary Pokemon, I speed build a team around that legendary Pokemon, and I try it out on the Regulation I ladder on Pokemon Showdown. For two reasons, as always: that I like legendary Pokemon and want to try a bunch of them out, and that by speed building a bunch of different teams, I should have some fun little ladder adventures and maybe learn some things along the way. This is the 25th video in this series. I am kind of zooming through them because, of course, I waited a while for a double restricted format to do this in, and then they announced a double restricted format that would last not very long. So I want to get through as many legendaries as I can. I'm going to be annoyed if Reg I actually just continues at the start of next season, but hey, I'm working with the information that I have right now. Like I said, this is number 25. There still has not been a single Generation 2 legendary selected. If I keep saying it, it'll happen eventually. Let's see if now is the time. Nope, we went just past Gen 2 into Gen 3, and it looks like it's going to be Latias. The very first one in the series was Latios, and now 24 videos later, here is his sister. Okay, Latias. It's, slightly bulkier than Latios, but hits slightly less hard. I probably won't be using the Soul Dew, but let's just flag here that the item is available. Yeah, I think that base 130 special defense would be in special attack on Latios. These stats are... Hey, I remember when these were some really good bottom 3 stats. Not so much these days. But I think Latias, it's fair to say, is geared more toward a support role. And if it's going to have a niche, it's going to come from the Dragon typing, mainly, with resistances to Fire, Water, Grass, and Electric. And maybe the ground immunity from Levitate as well. Problem is, so when I think about support Latias, the first thing that comes to mind is Tailwind. I do think that could be valuable here. But Latias doesn't get priority on Tailwind, nor does it get... I mean, base 110 speed, again, is not bad, but it's not especially fast for a fast Tailwind setter. But yeah, I feel like that resistance profile is probably the starting point. I could just do like choice specs Latias, but I think I want to go more of a support direction. See if I can figure out a team for that. Might be tricky on the spot. Let's see what else we get here. This Baton Pass. Gets Heal Pulse. So that could be pretty cool next to a bulky restricted Pokemon. I could see something like Zamazenta, actually. Because Latias covers all of Zamazenta's weaknesses. Well, there is synergy there for sure. You could run screens, but I'm not sure why this would be the Pokemon to do that. Reflect Type is a funny move. I get Psych Up. I could do Smeargle, Muck, Psych Up stuff, but the Psych Up user is Latias. I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't be using Smeargle Muck on this channel. That feels a little bit... maybe someday, but not right now. Okay. There's Stored Power. I could do Stored Power setup, but I think I like the support idea. It gets Trick, it gets Wish, Thunder Wave, Tailwind. We might as well check these moves as well. Breaking Swipe is, you know, not nothing. I compare with Terapagos, actually. Because it covers the fighting weakness. I could even maybe run a Psychic Stab or something to deal with fighting types other than Single Strike or Shifu. What are the other fighting types in the format? There's also Zamazenta for fighting types that are not weak to Psychic. I don't know. It's a thought. Dragon Cheer. Interesting. Does it not get Ally Switch anymore? I could swear it did in Gen 8. Also, does it not get Trick Room? Guess not. Alright, so I want Latias to be Tailwind support. I'm also interested in Heal Pulse. I think Zamazenta or Terapagos makes sense as a restricted partner. I don't know that I want both of them necessarily. Latias also has trouble because it loses to a bunch of good restricteds, right? Like, it just gets wrecked by most of the top restricteds, actually. Both forms of Calyrex that are relevant. Miraidon, Koraidon. Actually, not so much Koraidon. They don't run a dragon attack, usually. But yeah, all of the top 3 restricteds and Zacian are bad news for Latias. I could do a Shadow Rider Zamazenta team. I don't usually run Tailwind on those, but sometimes I do miss having it. Heal Pulse could help to keep the restricteds healthy. Then what? I don't really have room for screens then. Latias also doesn't help deal with dark types, but then that's Zamazenta's role. Probably I have an Urshifu on the team as well. What's the other option that I'm looking at here? Latias on a team built around Calm Mind Terapagos. And I think I just don't see the vision quite as clearly. I feel like Latias to deal with the to help deal with the with some of the threats, though. I'm really hesitating here. I don't know what the best approach is. But I think I have the right idea about restricted partners. And I feel like I have the clearest idea for the Zamazenta version, so let's do that. Zamazenta, Shadow Rider. Can I do a Smeargle variant? I haven't tried that before, but I know they're popular right now. But I don't know how to build one. But I could look it up. Or I could just stick to what I know and do Rillaboom, Incineroar, or Urshifu. Usually I run a Chien-Pao on this kind of team. I could do like Chien-Pao, Rillaboom. The tricky thing then is I feel like I need Incineroar, so it would be Urshifu that is the odd man out there. Is that good? Well, I'm using Latias. Is that good for the premise that I'm working with here? Rillaboom, Incineroar, Chien-Pao? Maybe. It'd be pretty typical sets on these two Pokemon. I'm not gonna make you watch me fill them out, but like Tailwind, Heal Pulse. I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something. Then Latias can help me deal with Kyogre, maybe Groudon, Rhydon. There's something to be said for it. I'm down to try it. We'll drop the Urshifu. We'll do Rillaboom, Incineroar, Chien-Pao. Actually, the only other thing I'm hesitating on here is I now have 2 Pokemon that both want to have the Focus Sash. This one and this one. This one and this one. Here. I could try Life Orb Chien-Pao. Usually I do Life Orb Shadow Rider Sash Chien-Pao. And I do think I have enough for opposing Shadow Rider with Incineroar, Rillaboom, with all of these 4. That I could probably get away with non-Sash Shadow Rider this time, so maybe I stick to what I know. What about Ice Rider? I have Zamazenta, that helps a lot. I have Shadow Rider. I have Incineroar. How do I beat Miraidon? I have Rillaboom, Chien-Pao. Alright, I think this is something. I mean, it's pretty simple, but I think it's workable. I might even be able to find room for a screen on Latias' set, but I think I want Protect. And I think instead of a screen, I think I want Protect and an attack. I think Psychic Stab makes decent sense. Because Other than my Calyrex, this is my best answer to opposing fighting types. Do I want Dragon Stab instead? Zamazenta does cover nicely the coverage gaps with like a Dragon Pulse or something. And it could help Rillaboom break through an opposing team in some situations, maybe complement Zamazenta. Actually, yeah, I think Draco Meteor is the call here. It's the strongest stab that Latias has available, and it also complements Zamazenta's coverage pretty nicely, actually. And then I could do Icy Wind, I could do Thunder Wave, I could do a Screen, but I think Protect is fine. I just got rid of Draco Meteor there somehow. The item, so I'm assuming Rusted Shield, Focus Sash, nope, Life Orb, Focus Sash, Assault Vest, and either Safety Goggles or Rocky Helmet. I could do Helmet Latias. I could do Goggles Latias and Helmet Incineroar. I might beat Trick Room stuff with Amogus. Easier said than done. I think Goggles Incineroar. Helmet Latias, Citrus Berry Latias, even though that makes it even more Horse Weak. Focus Sash is already taken. Covert Cloak. If I do Covert Cloak, there's less need for Protect, but I don't see the vision with Covert Cloak. I could do Eject Pack. Draco Meteor and get out of there, but it comes at the cost of being forced out by an Intimidate whenever that comes up. I think I'm talking myself into boring old Rocky Helmet. The main moves that are thrown at Latias, a lot of them won't make contact, but some of them will. But also I can switch it into certain situations. I'm not at all sold on the Rocky Helmet, actually. I could just do Citrus Berry. There's not always going to be a horse on the field. Yeah, let's try that. And then the Terror type. I could do Dragon to double down on Draco Meteor damage. I could do like Fighting or Fairy to avoid a Sucker Punch in a clutch situation. I could do Normal, be immune to opposing Astral Barrage. I could do Dark to avoid Prankster Taunt, and then that resists Astral Barrage. I could do something like Poison or Steel to take Fairy type attacks, and then I don't even have to worry about the ground weakness because, or Fire also works for this. I don't have to worry about the ground weakness because of Levitate. That's kind of a cool idea, but I think I like Dark. I think Dark shutting down Prankster Taunts and then also having that defensive utility on top makes it pretty valuable here. And I'll just go with some bulky EV spread. I'm not dwelling too much on the rest of the team because I'm going to run what are very common sets for me that I'm very used to using on the channel already. But I thought I should at least flesh out Latias before I make the cut. Let's cut to the finished team now. Alright, here it is. Not too much to say. Pretty typical sets that I use on all these Pokemon. Except Latias, which I've already gone over in detail. I'm actually kind of looking forward to seeing how Latias does as a Tailwind support, though. I mean, I've talked about the synergy with Zamazenta, but also Latias having a relatively slow Tailwind in this format on a team that's not necessarily dependent on getting Tailwind up all the time could play kind of interestingly, right? I'm not sure that it's going to work out well at all, but it could make for some fun game plans where the Tailwind is more situational. Maybe it comes out a little later. Maybe it's offset from an opponent's Tailwind, or just gets to jump on opponents who don't have it. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. We'll see what actually happens. As a first opponent today has Shadow Rider Calyrex along with Koraidon, Hearthflame Mask Ogerpon, Incineroar, Indeedee, the female form, and Fluttermane. They agreed to open team sheets. Alright, I will too. I don't always agree to open team sheets when my opponent does on the best of one ladder, but I think most of the time, unless I have a reason not to, it's polite if they want that to go for it. But hey, sometimes I have a reason not to want to. Anyway, Terra Fire, they haven't changed any of their Terra types. These are all, oh, except the 2 restricted Pokemon, but the rest all have default Terra types. That's odd. The Fluttermane is Terra Ghost and it doesn't even have a Ghost type attack. I don't think they finished building their team. They might have forgotten. It's not like I've never done that. Alright, let's not get too distracted by that, though, or it might actually work out in their favor by throwing me off. They have speed control, where I don't. They also have Trick Room, but they probably don't want to use it in this matchup. I think Zamazenta Chiampao just put pressure on them immediately. I think Shadow Rider. How do I beat Incineroar with this team? That's a bit of a problem. I might need my own Incineroar. I would like to bring Latias. I'll bring Latias. It's the first game of the Latias video, but I am a little bit weak to Incineroar in this mode unless they let me just body press it. They lead Koraidon Fluttermane. It's a Life Orb, Terra Fire, Koraidon. What looks like the standard set. And it is Mirror Herb, so it's actually copied the defense boost already. I noticed the Terra type, but I didn't notice the item, but it's already activated. Mirror Herb Fluttermane, now +1 defense and +1 speed with Moonblast, Icy Wind, and Thunder Wave. And also Protect, of course. Kind of want to Terra Dragon Zamazenta immediately. They don't have much to punish that other than the Fluttermane. They can just pin me, though, with, what, Close Combat, Moonblast? Maybe I want to run Terra Water Zamazenta, actually. I'm just going to Terra, though. And double target the Fluttermane. See if they let me... It should still take a lot, right? Even with the defense boost. They Icy Wind. Okay. And Terra Dragon's not super working out in my favor there. I think I will change it to water between games. They wipe out Chiampao because they broke its sash with the Icy Wind, but I get rid of their Fluttermane. Their Calyrex, or their Koraidon, excuse me, is now at +1 speed, and it's a fire type. There's the Shadow Rider Calyrex. It has Astral Barrage, Expanding Force, Encore, Dangerous, and Protect. Can I... It also has a Focus Sash. So if I don't break the Sash, I can just risk the Speed Tie with my Calyrex if it comes to it, but only if I break their Sash first. But then I also want to remove the Koraidon because it's going to be faster than my Calyrex by now. Latias is in danger if I don't wide guard. This is a really bad spot. I think this very offensive team has put me in a lot of danger immediately here. I'm gonna throw off some attacks. But I think I'm just gonna lose 2 Pokemon, or at least 1. The Encore Zamazenta. I missed the Draco Meteor into Calyrex. The Behemoth Bash is not gonna do too much to Koraidon. I think they could have just attacked with Calyrex there and they'd be fine. But I should have gone for a Tailwind, actually. This would have been the time to get my speed control up. I'll try now, see if they let me. But yeah, missing the Draco Meteor is bad, but I was pretty far behind already, so I don't know how much it really matters. There's the Astral Barrage. They knock out Zamazenta. I do get my Tailwind, actually. It is still possible to win this. Because my Calyrex will go first now. This is actually where me having Tailwind and them not having Tailwind pays off. I can Astral Barrage. I'll go for another Draco Meteor into their Calyrex. It's Terra Fairy. But I've already used my Terra. They've already used their Terra as well, actually, so I don't have to worry about it terrestrializing. So actually, that Tailwind might have just saved the game, and I should have done it the previous turn. It's really weird to me that they clicked Encore. I guess they were trying to get around the wide guard. I guess that's true. I could have wide guarded, and then an Astral Barrage would have been wasted. So they did maybe make the safer play there. I don't know. They let Koraidon go down. They preserve the Sash. They have Incineroar in the back. No. I thought Incineroar went kind of crazy against my team, but maybe it's afraid of Zamazenta, especially since it's not Terra Ghost or Bug. It's Terra Fire. But now I have +1 Calyrex. I'll Astral Barrage, and they actually can click Follow Me if they have it, which they do. Well, I just have to hope that the Astral Barrage knocks out the Ogre Pawn. Go for Draco Meteor and do their Calyrex. The game ended one way or another here. Astral Barrage knocks out the Ogre Pawn. We knock Calyrex down to the Sash. Do I land the Draco Meteor this time? Perfect. Alright, Latias actually was clutch in the first game of the video, so you love to see it. There's the Citrus Berry that was denied all this time. Good first game for Latias there. Let's make it Terra Water Zamazenta. There we go. I was about to say this is that Giratina team, but nope, I don't recognize this team actually. But there is an Origin Giratina, along with Zamazenta, Rillaboom. Kind of weird to not see a Chien-Pao on this team, but maybe they'll take advantage of my Chien-Pao. They have Comfey, they have Iron Bundle, and they have Chi-Yu, so there's a lot going on here. Right? What are they cooking? I see Origin Giratina, and I imagine it's probably some kind of physical shadow sneaking stuff. It could be Calm Mind. With Chi-Yu to give it a power boost, and Comfey to keep it healthy, and Iron Bundle for speed control. But maybe my brain is cooking too hard here. I don't know. This team looks like it has a lot of different things that it might want to do. It's kind of a hard one to read in a closed team sheet setup. But I think I'm good with Zamazenta Chien-Pao lead again. And I'm not so high on the Calyrex this time, actually, because they have Wide Guard, possible Ghost type priority. This could be holding a Scarf, and it kind of shuts Calyrex down. I think I bring Incineroar to this for sure. And I don't really have a better idea than to bring my other restricted. We'll leave Latias behind this time, and there's a good chance that I'll Terrasilize Calyrex this game because it's in a lot of danger in this matchup if I don't. They just lead Chi-Yu Rillaboom right off the bat. I'm just going to Protect because they're threatening Fake Out. I can also scout what the Chi-Yu does here, whether it goes for something like a Terra Ghost. Or even... I don't know if Terra Ground Chi-Yu is still a thing. More likely Ghost. Especially in front of Chien-Pao. I don't think you would Terra Ground in front of Chien-Pao if you have it. But I don't know that that's still a thing anyway. That was a Reg G tech for a little while. Fake Out, no Terra. Flamethrower into Zamazenta. Okay. I'm gonna go Incineroar. What am I gonna do? I don't want to give up the boost. I'm gonna Body Press and Sucker Punch Chi-Yu. Yeah, that pins it. If it's Terra Ghost, which it is. We get that with the Sucker Punch. That's what I was covering for there. And now the Body Press will go into Rillaboom. After it takes Life Orb damage, it's Life Orb Rillaboom. Not quite KO'd, but takes a lot there. Chien-Pao's still here. Giratina's here. They can't Terrasilize it. They already used their Terra. I might lose Chien-Pao here, but I think I'm down to just Sucker Punch Giratina and Body Press Rillaboom. If I do lose Chien-Pao, then I can get Incineroar in or somebody. That Sucker Punch does good damage. They Shadow Sneak Chien-Pao, they don't even knock it out, and they let me have a Body Press into their Zamazenta. I mean, I'm down to make the same play again. I don't really know what they have to deal with it. They can protect Giratina, but I have successfully prevented it from attacking this turn. My Zamazenta goes first. I have a bit of speed investment. There's an excellent chance that mine is faster than theirs, although I don't know what a typical speed stat is right now. I basically just dumped all the leftover EVs after I'd done the rest of what I wanted into speed. I think I can protect through this Fake Out turn, and then Grassy Terrain is also over, so they don't have priority Grassy Glide anymore. This should be GG pretty quickly from here. They said GG in the chat just as I said that. Alright, I'll say it back. This opponent was nice. They left before I got the GG out. I almost always wait until the game is fully over to say GG, but that does mean sometimes the opponent misses it. That's part of why I don't bother to say it as often as I used to. This one I think it was fair to call fully over, though. They had already used their Terra. After my Protects this turn, Rillaboom had no priority left. Giratina was always pinned by the Sucker Punch. I don't think there was a way for my opponent to win that, so I could have just said GG when they did. I just always hesitate in that kind of situation. Here we've got Miraidon, Zamazenta, Raichu. Oh, you know what this could be? Hang on, they have Oranguru, Therian Thundurus, and Ursaluna. This could be Discharge spam, right? They have 3 electric types. One of them is Lightning Rod, so Raichu will be powered up anytime it's hit by a partner's Discharge. Thundurus will be healed with Volt Absorb every time it's hit by a partner's discharge. Oranguru has Telepathy, and Ursaluna is immune to discharge. And actually, Zamazenta has Wide Guard, so everything on this team except Miraidon has a way to be immune to its partner's discharge. Raichu and Thundurus can even benefit from it, and Miraidon double resists, so it doesn't really care if a partner clicks discharge either. This whole team looks like it's built around discharge spam. That's crazy, and actually I don't know how I'm going to beat it. It's really scary right now. I think I start off leading Calyrex, because I'm immune to Raichu's Fake Out, and I can try to just throw off damage quickly. Terra Dragon Zamazenta might be missed in this one, because this opponent looks like they want to spam a lot of electric attacks. I can do Chien-Pao with Calyrex this time, maybe. I can consider Terra Ghost if there's a Fake Out. I can Sucker Punch things. Right, just try to get damage on the board quickly. Rillaboom, and I'll bring Zamazenta, but I don't know that I have a good game plan for this. I did not account for a full discharge team in the builder, and I don't know that's actually what I'm going to get from this lead right here. They could go for something else, but they have the option if they want for Zamazenta to protect itself with Wide Guard while Raichu clicks discharge. I think I am going to do what I said and just Terrastallize Chien-Pao immediately. If it wastes my Terra, so be it. And I'm actually going to cover for a possible Wide Guard and click Psychic and Sucker Punch into Raichu. I want to get Raichu out of here. That Pokemon can be so disruptive. They actually do Wide Guard. This is why I didn't click Astral Barrage, because I thought the Wide Guard might be coming. I do get rid of Raichu without finding out what it went for. It didn't go for a Fake Out, so my Terra might have been wasted, but at least Raichu's gone. Here's Miraidon. If I want, I can Taunt. No, because the Wide Guard will still go before the Taunt. Alright, let's just Psychic Miraidon. It's +1 now, and also Sucker Punch it. Miraidon don't usually run Protect. Some do. But it probably has to just attack me. Yeah, and it just gets knocked out. Nice. Zamazenta's sitting there clicking Wide Guard, but it's not accomplishing anything. What's their last Pokemon? That was Terra Electric Miraidon. This is the most discharge spamming team I've ever seen in my life. And funnily enough, Latias is one of my 2 electric resists, but I didn't bring it to this game. Whoops. But I knew that if I was going to overcome... Because Discharge has that para chance as well as the spread damage. I knew I figured my best way to overcome that was to get a lot of damage out quickly. Here's Ursaluna. There's no Protect, of course. I'm going to Psychic Ursaluna, or there's no Trick Room. I think it probably protects here, but I'll cover for the chance that it doesn't. And I will now go for the Taunt into Zamazenta. No, that's silly. I don't need to Taunt Zamazenta. Astral Barrage is not as tempting anyway because they have Normal type on the board. I think the Ursaluna is going to Protect. I'll Psychic Zamazenta, but just in case, I will also Icicle Crash Ursaluna. It does Protect. All right. I could have hard read that, but I hesitated just a little bit, but it doesn't matter. The Psychic wipes out Zamazenta anyway. And they forfeit. Yeah, there was nothing that Ursaluna was doing from here. They didn't click Discharge a single time. I mean, good for me, I didn't let them, but that's a really funny team concept. I might have liked to see it work a little better. Except the problem is I'm the opponent, so I had every incentive to shut it down. And I did. Alright, Terrapagos, Chi-Yu, Ice Rider, Indeedee, Incineroar, and Urshifu. I don't know what form on this team. This could be Combine Terrapagos, but I feel like it doesn't have to be. It could be Specs or Power Herb Terrapagos. The Chi-Yu powering it up, Indeedee setting Trick Room if they want. But it could be Combine Terrapagos for sure. They have supports for that as well. With all of Chi... I know I haven't been bringing Latias to the games much, even after it was clutch in the first one, but with all of Chi-Yu, Ice Rider, and Incineroar here, I don't know that I'm motivated to bring Latias to this one. I think I'll lead with Zamazenta Chien-Pao. Very strong lead. Puts out a lot of pressure immediately. I'll bring my Calyrex. Do I need my Calyrex? It's pretty bad into Terrapagos. It's pretty bad into a lot of their team, actually. I'll bring Incineroar. Should probably bring Calyrex because it's just one of my best Pokemon, right? I don't think Latias does enough here. Sorry, Latias. We'll get you to another game eventually. But, hey. I think Latias has some kind of niche on this team, but it is definitely not coming up every game, that's for sure. I don't know, some kind of niche might be taken the wrong way. I don't think Latias is about to make noise at a tournament, like a major event, but and there aren't any more left anyway this season. But I think I can find a use for it. I just think it's very much not an every game kind of thing. Want to make the... Shall we make the same Chiyu counterplay that I did in that earlier game? Oh, guess wrong this time. No Terra Ghost on the Chiyu. Of course, I cover for that with the body press, except they just knocked my Zamazenta out. Why didn't I Terra Water there? I don't know. I probably should have. That was actually just a really bad turn one. Whoops. It happens, I guess. I actually think I probably just straight up lose now. I can't even burn this. That was a really bad turn one. Probably should have Terra Watered. Oh well. I mean, these videos don't end without me losing a game eventually, so. Let's get this Calyrex out of here. They're letting me do that. Chiyu is, I assume, choice locked into overheat. It can only take one KO here. It takes Qianpao. Maybe I should have slowed this down to play through the Trick Room, but I don't know. This is a tough one regardless. Kind of just clicking buttons right now. Yeah, Calyrex against Terapagos is not what I want here. But hey, let's see. Let's see. Knock it off. Let's see what the item is. Specs. Okay. Para Starstorm knocks out Incineroar. Chi was not choice locked. They bluffed it this whole time. Good for them. They got me. I played the beginning of this game really sloppily, but that was also pretty clever of the opponent to fool me about the Chiu's item that whole time. I do want to give them credit for that. Play to the end here, but I think we're about to see the end in a moment. You're at a Terapagos, and that'll offset the Snarl that's coming out in just a moment. But yeah, now I don't even take enough Life Orb damage to get through this, and their last Pokemon is Incineroar. I could Protect to get around the Fake Out, but I'm going to lose this game anyway, so I'll just click Astral Barrage. Chiyu Incineroar, unusual duo, not really something you want to see with Latias on your team. But that's okay. I could have played that better for sure. And they like I said, they tricked me pretty nicely there. Terapagos, Miraidon, Smeargle, Iron Hands, almost just called it Hariyama. Whimsicott and Urshifu, so this will be some scary Decorate stuff. This could be Specs Terapagos again for sure. Let's do Qianpao Zamazenta. I can taunt Smeargle. Probably want Rillaboom to change the terrain. Probably want Calyrex. That means leaving Latias behind again, but I don't know that I do enough damage if I don't leave Latias behind. How many games in a row did I not bring Latias? Like 3 or 4? I'm gonna do it. I think Calyrex is the more sound choice here, but I gotta bring Latias to some of these games in its own video. Hey, maybe I'll want to match Tailwind at some point. They lead Whimsicott Miraidon here. Terra Water Zamazenta feels not amazing in front of Miraidon. I'm going to Behemoth Bash Whimsicott and switch Qianpao to Rillaboom. I kind of wanted to Sucker Punch Miraidon or something, but it could Terra Fairy. I don't think I need to be too reckless here. I think changing the terrain is fine. That's a pretty meaningful nerf to a Miraidon. We should take that Electro Drift reasonably well, barring the chance that it crits. It's locked into Electro Drift now. I'm gonna body press the Miraidon slot. They don't have any fighting immunity. I'm gonna U-turn the Whimsicott slot. I would like to knock Whimsicott out. I would also like to get Latias in. Tickle. Alright, that's a... I was gonna say that's a new one, but I actually have seen that a couple of times lately. That gets rid of my Dauntless Shield boost, which might influence my decisions on, you know, switching Zamazenta out, because the boost's already gone anyway. What I was gonna say is get Latias in, and then I can click Heal Pulse. They'll probably go back to Miraidon here, though. Yeah. So maybe I'd like to go back to Rillaboom and just protect Latias for now, see what they do. I've knocked out Whimsicott, so if I set Tailwind, they have no way to set theirs back up. But I also might just want a Draco Meteor or something, or switch Latias out, I don't know. Let's see what Miraidon does. It's Volt Switch into Rillaboom. They're fighting for that terrain control. Their last Pokemon is Terapagos. Rain Punch, Rillaboom. Good damage for them, unfortunately. I could switch to Zamazenta and Heal Pulse, but that's really passive. But I don't really want to leave Rillaboom on the field. Alright, let's see. They switch Iron Hands out to Miraidon. That's good. That means there's not a fighting type attack coming out into the Rillaboom slot this turn. I get Zamazenta. They get a Calm Mind with Terapagos. That's bad for me. But I get Zamazenta back up to full. I'm just gonna play it. I'm gonna play this perhaps a little too slowly, but I'm just gonna try to maneuver here. I'm gonna protect Zamazenta and set Tailwind. Their Tailwind is over. I might be playing too passively, but I'm in a tricky spot. I guess they're not terrestrializing Miraidon because they want to save the Terra for Terapagos. So if I had Tailwind up already, I could think about a Draco Meteor into Miraidon. But I'm just getting Tailwind up now. Can't really... Yeah, the Terra Water Zamazenta, it would have been really useful in that first game, but it's been honestly a hindrance in all the games since then. Showdown Ladder is undefeated at this kind of thing. I find a tech that would have helped with the one matchup, and suddenly it's bad in all the others that I'm getting. Maybe I'm overstating it, but I'm not going to terrestrialize with these guys around. I'm just going to have to deal with the Earth Power. But I am going to Body Press Terapagos, and Rillaboom can't keep pivoting in all the time, but I think I do want to preserve Latias, so I'll pivot Rillaboom in for now. They had Fake Out Pressure. Remember that, but they use it to get another Calm Mind. And now, as much as it gives up terrain control, I think it's... I'll probably just protect Terapagos though, right? What I was going to say is I think it's worthwhile to Fake Out or Grassy Glide Terapagos, break the Terra Shell, and Body Press it. But I don't think they'll let me do that. Why would they? So, what I'm going to do instead is double the other slot. Maybe I can catch Miraidon on the switch. Nope, they leave Iron Hands in, but that'll take some damage. Not as much as I'd like. Wow. Not as much as I'd like, that is for sure. But I get Chien-Pao now. In a close combat. But the point of this is to pin the Terapagos slot. It just protected. Miraidon doesn't want to come in on this either. Icicle Crash and Body Press into the Terapagos slot. Let's see. Do they go for the double? Do they switch? Do they have some other play? The Terra. They dodged the Icicle Crash. Yep, that was a good out for them. Yeah, they had the they had the perfect counterplay. Just dodge the Icicle Crash. I guess it wouldn't. Body Press only did this much. I guess it wasn't KOing anyway. Man, that's probably GG. But let's see. I'll get the Tailwind back first, And then, like, maybe I can get a heal pulse into Zamazenta and keep this game going. They protect Terapagos here. That's probably good for me. Because I have the speed control advantage now. I'm probably going to lose to Miraidon, but let's see if I can manage not to. Actually, maybe instead of heal pulse this turn, I Draco Meteor Miraidon. That doesn't KO. That does, with a crit. But Terapagos, because I didn't heal pulse, Terapagos is free to knock out Zamazenta. What were those body press rolls? 53 and then 35. Did anything change? Did I miss something? I rolled them back in, of course. Was that just like a max roll and then a min roll? Let me know in the comments if I missed something, because I don't know what just happened there. They have Fake Out on the board. I guess I get around that with my own Fake Out into Terapagos. And... let's not be too impatient here. Let's just protect. They don't Fake Out. They do Fake Out. Mine just goes first. Duh. Alright. I'm going to Grassy Glide Terapagos and Heal Pulse Rillaboom. That way I have the Grassy Glide pressure again, even if it protects this turn. Latias resisting Iron Hands stabs might come in clutch here. I don't know. I don't know what the Iron Hands is going to go for. I think the Iron Hands is going to try to knock out Rillaboom. Yeah, it goes for Drain Punch. Rillaboom takes that pretty nicely. Grassy Glide Terapagos. I'll Heal Pulse Rillaboom again, try to keep that healthy. I think it's my win con. I could Draco Meteor the Iron Hands, but I mean, I'm already at... oh, okay. Terapagos survives. Alright, GG. Hey, can't say I didn't try that, huh? I went down swinging in that one. Came up just short in the end. There were better ways to play it for sure, but I gave it an honest effort. And that Icicle Crash damage might have made the difference. Although the Iron Hands was still going to be hard to beat. Maybe another Draco Meteor crit? I don't know. Anyway, GG to that opponent. Played a one more loss. This one has Shadow Rider Terapagos. Is that 3 Terapagos in a row? Male Indeedee this time. Rillaboom. Double Terrain. Tornadus. Smeargle. This is a scary team. This looks like some offense right here. Chimpao Zamazenta. I can pressure the restricteds, and I can also pressure these guys, and I can taunt Smeargle. I kind of want to bring my Calyrex. They have 2 normal types. They have 3 normal types. If I don't bring Calyrex, I bring what? Latias and Incineroar? I think I have room for one of those, but I don't think I have room for both. Hey, you know what? Maybe I'll get to Draco Meteor or something. It's the Latias video. I'll bring Latias and Incineroar. Let's give it a try. Okay, Smeargle and Indeedee. Body Press and Indeedee, taunt Smeargle. I can't Sucker Punch Indeedee because of the terrain, but otherwise this looks like a... this doesn't look like the comfiest lead position for my opponent. They can't Fake Out in the terrain, unless they switch their Rillaboom in here, so that's nice. They went for Trick. What were they cooking? I'm so curious. What was that supposed to... I'm so curious. What was supposed to happen there? Hopefully they'll answer. Does the Indeedee... I was going to say, does the Indeedee not have an item? But even if you don't have an item, Trick takes the item from the target, right? Did they click Trick into their own Smeargle? Does neither one have an item? I think the Indeedee was supposed to have Trick Room. I think they put in the wrong... They didn't answer. Sad. I think they probably thought they were clicking Trick Room there, and they had the wrong move in the builder. Maybe? Or it was just a misclick, and it isn't. But how does Trick fail? What circumstance can there possibly be where Trick fails, other than... Again, I think if you don't have an item, but you pick a target that does have an item, you still take the item from it. I think. Oh, it's Zamazenta. They clicked Trick into Zamazenta. Zamazenta has the Rusted Shield. It's an item, because Zamazenta's form difference depends on it, it's an item that can't be removed. You can't knock off a Rusted Shield either. They clicked Trick into Zamazenta, and indeed he went first because it has a Scarf. They tried to trick Scarf Zamazenta, they don't know that doesn't work. I mean, it would work on the other form of Zamazenta, but not this form, because Rusted Shield is an item that can't be removed. That probably shouldn't have taken me as long as it did to figure out, but that's definitely what happened there. Oh well. We're all learning, right? Hopefully they'll figure out what happened there. And they'll, I mean, maybe they already know and they just kind of brain farted. I'm pretty sure I have recent videos, recently made at least, where I click Fake Out in Psychic Terrain and Sleep Powder in Electric Terrain. These things happen. My opponent tried playing with Latias once or twice. I'll ask how it went. But I also need to think about the matchup. Ice Rider, Miraidon, Sneasler, Torkoal. Fair enough. Not very fair enough. Smeargle, Iron Hands. This is a very Trick Roomy team, except they also have probably Unburden, Electric Seed, Sneasler. So they're going to hit both extremes speed-wise, and it's going to be hard for me to deal with. They did open team sheets. It is Electric Seed, Unburden, Sneasler. It is no doubt hard to deal with. Do I have a way to deny Trick Room? If I do, it's probably these two leading. What does the Smeargle have? Decorate, Spore, Follow Me, Fake Out. Figures. Yeah, I don't know. Nope. This is just going to be a hard one. I don't know what I clicked there. I don't know what my last Pokemon is. I gotta stop using this trackpad. It keeps double clicking these days. I don't know. It's Latias. Okay, you know what? That works out because it's a Latias video. There's always a case to bring it, but I clicked on it by accident there. Taunt Qianpao I copied from tournament teams. I'm not gonna type in chat right now. I'm too scattered. I copied Taunt. If you see this opponent later, I copied Taunt Qianpao from some teams that did well at major tournaments. I think it was supposed to be an answer to Leech Seed Ice Rider, which reminds me, do you have Leech Seed Ice Rider? No. But you know what? I'm down to try this anyway. They went for the Fake Out into Qianpao. That's why I clicked the Terra Ghost. I might be about to deny their Trick Room. Nice, so far so good. I will be down now to double the Smeargle. It's gonna follow me, right? And it doesn't look like Astral Barrage will KO Ice Rider. Alright, I'll double the Smeargle. Didn't see Terra Ghost. If I saw, I would have used Follow Me. Yeah, in the back of my mind, that was what I thought they would do, and then I forgot because I got distracted by the chat. But fortunately, the play I went for worked out. There's the Follow Me. Smeargle's knocked out. Ice Rider just goes for our Glacial Lance, takes out my Shadow Rider, so there was a real cost to removing that Smeargle there. But now I get Zamazenta next to Qianpao. They go Miraidon. Ballad. I didn't bring Rillaboom. Maybe I would have if I'd, chosen my last Pokemon. My own clumsy fault, I guess. I don't know. That's been happening a lot lately with this trackpad. They've already used their Terra, so I don't have to worry about that. I think I can afford to double the Miraidon here. It's a greater immediate threat than the Calyrex. Dazzling Gleam, knocks out Qianpao. KO Miraidon back. What does Calyrex go for? Glacial Lance. Solid 20%. Now they can set Trick Room. Here's my Latias. There's their Torkoal. That Torkoal's a massive, giant turbo threat. I think I just lose to it unless I get a call exactly right here. But I think they're safe. It's pretty safe for them to either Trick Room Eruption or Protect Eruption, right? Or like single target fire attack. What do they have on Torkoal? They don't have a single target attack on Torkoal. That sort of changes things. The problem is if I click Wide Guard, I'm never denying Trick Room. And if they get Trick Room up, I think I just lose. So, I'm going to Body Press and Draco Meteor into Calyrex. They protected the Torkoal. I think they should have attacked with the Torkoal. That was putting out a lot of pressure. But it works out for them as I missed the Draco Meteor. Not the first time this video, huh? It turns out the biggest problem with using Latias is that it just can't land that attack. Do I just lose now? Terra Dark Covert Cloak work for Cali Ice. I don't know. Never tried that one. Probably not super worth it. Okay, do I have any way to win this game? Wide Guard, Draco Meteor, Calyrex. If they go for Glacial Lance here, and I knock out their Calyrex, I actually land the attack this time, then I guaranteed beat Torkoal. Okay, perfect. I had one out and it worked out. Now I can just Wide Guard Draco Meteor forever. Well, until I run out of PP. I'll probably miss all the Draco Meteors, though. Oh, we land that one. Also, Trick Room ends soon, and at that point, Zamazenta will be going before Torkoal again. I only have Eruption and Heat Wave as attacking moves. I know, I have your open team sheet. Kind of hard for Torkoal to beat Latias anyway. GG. Kind of hard for Torkoal to beat Latias anyway, because this one's only running fire attacks. And they're resisted, and Latias is reasonably specially bulky. Plus, when Torkoal does run a coverage move, it's usually Earth Power. But that would be stopped by the Levitate. We miss another Draco. We're definitely above odds in missing Dracos this video, but I think I can take a shortcut here and just Body Press. Torkoal's never beating Latias anyway, but the Body Press just KOs before Torkoal gets an attack off. Alright, GG to that opponent. Nice opponent, fun game. Say hi in the comments if you see this. They haven't left the room. I wonder whether they're typing something. I'm going to give them a moment. Is Latias good? Probably not. I'm just doing a bit for YT right now. I would say I don't usually plug the channel in the battle chat, but I mean, the reason I ladder on this account name is that the name is supposed to promote the channel, let's be honest. But yeah, say hi in the comments if you find this. Anyway. I think we can move on now. I'll leave the room open for now, but let's get another game. Oh, Scovillain. Alright. Koraidon, Scovillain, Komodo, Clefairy, and Didi Lunala. Double Dragon and Fighting types, so of course they can play very differently. Scovillain is something for sure. Latias actually has a fair bit that it can do. It kind of shuts down these Pokemon, but potentially depending on their sets, the first three. Not the Lunala, of course. I don't hate the idea, Scovillain having Chlorophyll, I don't hate the idea of leading, like, Latias and Incineroar with my restricteds in the back. That might be too passive a lead, but you know what? I'm down to try it. Sometimes double support lead pays off. I'm down to see how that goes for this team. Didi Lunala, okay. They can follow me. Also, Latias is kind of just useless here. I guess what Latias does here is Draco Meteor into Indeedee. I'll try to knock off the Lunala. They'll probably redirect it, but now I'm looking for the KO into Indeedee. We do land our Draco Meteor, so that's a good start. We do knock out the Indeedee with a knockoff crit. Makes me think that the Draco Meteor might not have been necessary. They get Trick Room up. I wasn't sure whether they would go for that because it's not a super Trick Roomy looking team, but it does make sense for them in this position, I suppose. Now they have Clefairy, so they have more redirection support for Lunala. If they're running Trick Room, they're probably not running... no, they could be running Meteor Beam. That's totally plausible, actually. I'm going to protect Latias this turn, and I'm going to go for a knockoff into Lunala that I assume will be redirected into Clefairy, but knockoff into either one has some value. Clefairy. Follow me. Incineroar underspeeds Lunala. Get rid of the Eviolite. It's Dazzling Gleam, not Meteor Beam. That's good. That doesn't do too much to Incineroar. I'll go Zamazenta here to help me kill their Trick Room turns. There's not a whole lot left for Incineroar to do, but there's not really anybody else I want to bring in his place, so I guess I'll... Honestly, let's just get a bit of chip damage on PP here. Life 2. Okay, so much for chip. That burn damage is not even going to annoy it a little bit. Also, I had a free knockoff into Lunala there, although it's not a Ghost type anymore, or a Psychic type, so it's not that valuable anymore. I'll protect Zamazenta here. I'll go for a knockoff into Lunala. Maybe I'll find out what its item is. And they follow me now. Go from Moongeist Beam into Zamazenta, probably anticipating the Wide Guard. And I guess now I'll click Behemoth Bash into Clefairy. Incineroar is so awkward here, but there's nobody I want to bring in. They go Komo-o. Leftovers Lunala. I thought about Wide Guard, but I figured they'd just go for the Moongeist Beam again. But I could have avoided that Dazzling Gleam damage. Oh well. Might be worth a Terra Water here in front of Komo-o. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to Behemoth Bash. And I'll Parting Shot Komo-o if they let me. And I would like to get my Calyrex in outside of Trick Room. I don't know that that's going to happen. I guess the next best scenario is get Latias in and stall a little bit more. Okay. Now, of course, they only had Fairy types left besides Komo-o, so somebody wasn't going to want to take that Behemoth Bash. They choose to let me have Clefairy instead of Lunala. They go straight for their Clangorous Soul without a recovery item. So Komo-o's low. Do I think the Lunala has Wide Guard? Big, big question right now. I think I need a Psychic Komo-o, actually. That'll cover for a possible Wide Guard. They could protect and Trick Room. They could protect and Trick Room. But actually, I don't think Komo-o... So the question is, can I afford to just double target Lunala here? I think that's my best play. Behemoth Bash, Psychic Lunala. Much as I'd like to Psychic Komo-o. Oh, they just go for an Aura Sphere. But Zamazenta takes it, thanks to the Water Terror. We knock out Lunala. Should be able to beat Komo-o from here. Body Press, Psychic. They go for Clanging Scales. It knocks out Zamazenta, but not Calyrex. And there goes Komo-o. Yeah, that Clangorous Soul setup was kind of scary, but it was just too little too late. Especially with the Clefairy gone, unable to keep Komo-o healthy. Oh, and the Komo-o's item was Throat Spray. That's why it didn't have like a berry. Probably makes more sense in this format anyway, since berries are a little less reliable in the presence of horses. Taking a bit of time to find an opponent. Never mind, here is one. It's another Zamazenta Shadow Rider team. They have their own Incineroar and Rillaboom. They have the Urshifu that I dropped here for Latias, and they have an Iron Treads. So that's their Miraidon answer, I guess. I sort of see the vision. I sort of do. Can I just lead Chien-Pao Zamazenta into this? Bring my Calyrex and probably my Incineroar. I hope I can do that, because that's what I'm doing. They lead Iron Treads Incineroar. Interesting. Alright, let's see what they go for here. Bonk. Bonk, okay. I'm down to body press this Incineroar. It's kind of threatening. And just go for some damage onto Treads. Because they're letting me just do that. Treads went before Champao. What's his base speed? Less than Champao for sure. Yeah, it has to be Scarfed. Here's their Zamazenta. And before I have to figure out what to do about it, they forfeit. Works for me, I guess, but that's a quick forfeit, no? I was probably going to look to pivot Incineroar in. But yeah, I don't know why they were so hasty on that one. Maybe they're... Eh. Who knows? No use speculating. Groudon, Raging Bolt, Heatran, Amoonguss, Lunala, Incineroar. A lot of this team looks like Latias food. A lot of it also doesn't look like Latias food, but Latias can kind of just sit on the field against a few of these Pokemon. Mainly Groudon and Heatran, probably. So I'm down to try that, I think. Problem is, pair Latias with what? Because... any kind of Lunala lead just kind of messes with Latias Zamazenta, so I don't think that duo works. I don't think I should lead Latias, actually. I think I should lead, like, Zamazenta and Incineroar? Champao and Incineroar? Champao Zamazenta, I can taunt Lunala or Amoonguss. I like Champao Zamazenta. I mean, I like that lead generally, but I also like it specifically here. Let's bring Calyrex and Latias, leaving Incineroar behind. There are too many Pokemon that Latias answers too well for me to not bring it in its own video in this specific game. Yeah, and I'm down to Taunt Amoonguss. That does open up... I mean, they can Rage Powder anyway, so there's not really anything I can do here to deny a Trick Room, but... I'll Body Press too, because I think it'll probably Terrasilize. But yeah, at least they can't get Spore under Trick Room then. At least not without switching. I may yet come to wish I had brought the safety goggles and Incineroar to this game, but we'll see. They Terrasilize the Lunala into Dark. What are they? Oh, Mental Herb Amoonguss. Okay. Fair enough. Got me with that one. They get the Spore into Zamazenta, they get the Trick Room. This is a mandatory sleep turn. But I'm down to try to break the Shadow Shield before they put Qianpao to sleep. They don't let me. Good call by them. I think here I'm going to Terra Water, Body Press Heatran. Depends on waking up, but at least they're not immediately threatening a KO if I do that, probably. And Latias should be able to sit on the field even if it takes a Spore against these guys. That does mean that I'm letting Qianpao stay asleep, and that might burn me later, but... Yeah, the Mental Herb Amoonguss kind of just blew me up here. But yeah, these Pokemon take a Heat Wave just fine, apart from Latias getting burned. Latias getting burned is pretty bad, actually. Oh, they're Rage Powdering. Alright. Well, try to get rid of Amoonguss. Then I can Body Press things. Hopefully. Hopefully. Groudon's here now. When they're just switching around with that slot, that means they're not attacking, so that is buying me some time. For Zamazenta to take max sleep turns, not really what I wanted to see. I'll wake up now. Let's just chip the Groudon if I can. Latias can sit on the field right now. The burn actually kind of helps in that it can't be spored, but the problem is there's not a lot that it can do in this position, and that has proven to be a recurring problem with this Latias. So the set might not be exactly right, but I don't know. Tailwind and Heal Pulse are good supports. They're just very situational. And Draco Meteor is a good attack. It's just a lot less good after the first time you use it. So Latias has been valuable in some of these games. Here it is avoiding a Precipice Blades. The problem is just that Breaking Shadow Shield is really nice there, because now Lunala is vulnerable to Body Press. The problem is just that sometimes Latias doesn't have anything to do. But this is not one of those times, because I'm going to Body Press Lunala, and I'm going to Heal Pulse Zamazenta. And that way Zamazenta can sit on the field in front of this Groudon, and hopefully I can deny the Trick Room now that Lunala is weak to the +1 Body Press. They go back to Amoonguss. They protect. Okay, makes sense. That means I'm not going to deny the Trick Room, because they're going to Rage Powder. Let's just Behemoth Bash and Draco Meteor Amoonguss. At least Zamazenta's back to full health. That much is good. There's the Rage Powder. Draco Meteor just doesn't do enough. I don't think they let me knock out the Amoonguss here, so I'm going to pivot Champao back in. Reset the drops on Latias. I thought about just clicking Draco Meteor into Amoonguss. Apparently I should have, but I thought they would switch it out. Well, now I guess I can take a crack at waking Champao up. Long game, whatever happens. But they're playing very carefully, and that is sometimes to their benefit, but it's also sometimes to my benefit, because I get to burn through their Trick Room turns with not too much penalty for it. Champao kills one sleep turn. I think that was the first one. Yeah. Alright, let's protect and Sucker Punch Heatran. Champao will have a chance to wake up here. It happens. Good damage on Heatran. They knock out Champao. That gets me Latias, whom I will protect this turn while looking to break the Shadow Shield again. I don't want Latias to take a Moongeist Beam is the thing. Amoonguss is back. Latias is not at reduced special attack this time. It's weakness policy Lunala this whole time? Are you kidding me? They've been so carefully protecting it from the body press, and all this time it benefited from the body press? Well, I think that's probably just GG, but let's see. Maybe they'll let me get away with something here. Some tricky opponents today. I never imagined this was weakness policy Lunala. I mean, maybe the Terra Dark being clicked so readily should have tipped me off, but they're gonna put they survive on 3. They survive the Draco Meteor on 3. They're gonna put Zamazenta to sleep, but I could have just Behemoth Bashed the Amoonguss. Oh my god, this is, well, safe to say this is definitely the last game of the video if I lose. Mandatory sleep turn, knock out Amoonguss finally, probably too little too late. Moongeist Beam into Zamazenta. Zamazenta survives. I can get a Heal Pulse into Zamazenta. Unless this is like Scarf Groudon or something. Who knows at this point? Okay, Heatran. Body Press Lunala. Heal Pulse Zamazenta. Zamazenta stays asleep. Not good. Moongeist Beam into Latias. KOs, but that means Zamazenta does not take the hit. Zamazenta will survive this heat wave. That does a lot, though. I get my Shadow Rider Calyrex in. I think I win this if Zamazenta wakes up right now. The whole game comes down to that. Let's see. Or maybe there's some kind of throw they could do that involves protecting Lunala here. Astral Barrage. Knocks out Heatran. Come on, Zamazenta. Please, I've been so good. Yeah, it works when Wolf says it, but not me. Wasn't good enough, I guess. Did I time out, actually? That's a win con. Click Astral Barrage. And... oh, I guess I have been so good. I did start to clue in, actually, when I saw the Astral Barrage damage the previous turn. Knocking out the Heatran there was enough that it knocked out the Lunala. I just was so convinced beforehand that it all depended on Zamazenta that I couldn't quite believe it. But you know what? Saving the Calyrex in the back all the way until the end of the game actually paid off there. All that nonsense, all that absolute baloney maneuvering the Latias and the Zamazenta around, and in the end, Shadow Rider Calyrex just comes through after 2 full rounds of Trick Room and sweeps the opponent's whole team, except the Amoonguss. But I could have gotten the Amoonguss too if I hadn't already gotten rid of that. That was a ridiculous game. But let's get another one, because that one was not yet loss number 3. Whoa, it's the Scraggy team. Is this the Scraggy team, or is this a Scraggy team? I don't remember. I've used too many teams since I tried that one out. I'm definitely starting to lose focus, like more than I was earlier. That last game threw me a little bit, so apologies in advance if I make some mistakes at this one. But I'm just gonna go for the tried and true Zamazenta Qianpao lead. I'll bring the Ice Shadow Rider, the Shadow Rider. I'll bring the Shadow Rider, and I'll bring the Incineroar is probably the most sound option here, but I'm gonna bring Latias because it's per video, and I don't know how much longer it's gonna go. And hey, Latias did kind of put in work last battle. All that silliness wasn't really her fault. And you know what? Keeping Zamazenta healthy even that long probably did make a difference. I'm taking some time with this one as well. But they made their choice. And it's Scraggy and Farigiraf. They can go for a fake out into something. But I'll either get Chip into Farigiraf here or I'll taunt it. I could Terra Ghost and taunt, actually. That guarantees the taunt. I think I prefer that. I can go then for Body Press into Scraggy. Although they might fake out Zamazenta. Got a Spectator. Opponent's really running their time down again. But okay, they made their choice. They went for fake out in Qianpao. Scraggy's gone. Trick Room denied. Yeah, Taunt Qianpao, I think it was probably an anti-Leech tech. It is also an anti-Trick Room tech. That probably was intentional as well. But I have really been liking it. You know, often enough. I can flinch their Zamazenta. I'm down to try. Give me a small advantage in this body press fight. Critting them is a bigger advantage. Obviously. And let's taunt the Ice Rider. Yeah, I don't actually agree with that. I should have knocked out the Farigiraf here, because I'm going to get into a situation where they have both of their Trick Room setters. And my taunt is now gone. That wasn't the right play. I should have double targeted the Farigiraf. Got greedy, if you can call it that. Or water on the Ice Rider. Farigiraf survives. They get their Trick Room now, but they clicked it with both Pokemon and they reversed their own Trick Room because they thought I would knock one of them out. Oh my god. I did not deserve to win this game, but it's gonna happen. They forfeit. I've made that play before too when I have 2 Trick Room setters and I think one of them is definitely going to be knocked out. Unfortunately, they were wrong this time. Unfortunately for them. The crit on their Zamazenta was the most unfortunate thing, though. But GG to that opponent. Alright. Kyogre, Miraidon, Urshifu, probably Rapid Strike form, Fluttermane, Amoonguss, and Landorus. If I'm ever bringing Rillaboom, it's got to be to this game, right? I think Latias can sit this one out. We got Urshifu and Fluttermane here. I could Terrasilize Zamazenta immediately and not be threatened by Surging Strikes much, but then I'm very threatened by Miraidon if I do that. Let's just try to get rid of this Fluttermane. Rillaboom is very helpful into most of the rest of their team if Fluttermane is gone. Okay, that was easy. Should have clicked Body Press instead of Behemoth Bash, I guess. Champao also just surviving the Surging Strikes at 1%. Absolutely clutch. Some Kyogre only run attacks. I don't know if this one only runs attacks, but some do. Can I Terra Water now? I think I probably can. I just have to beat Miraidon with my Pokemon in the back. I don't know. I'm just gonna do it. Nice. That might be a choice Kyogre. It's definitely not one that clicked Protect this turn, or Calm Mind. And now it's gone. I have just opened myself up to more danger from Miraidon, though. Fake it out this turn and Body Press the Urshifu. The Miraidon has Protect. Okay, good to know. Urshifu's gone, and Miraidon should just not have enough left at this point to win the game, especially since I know now that it's not running a Choice Scarf. So it'll underspeed my Calyrex. I also, at the last possible moment, get Rillaboom off the field, and that means I have Fake Out Pressure again next turn. And I think my play here is Fake Out and Nasty Plot. They'll probably Protect to get around the Fake Out, but then the Nasty Plot, I mean, either way, the Nasty Plot is free. I'm just clicking Nasty Plot instead of an attack, because an attack would probably do nothing. Yeah. And then that single target Astral Barrage should close this out. And I guess I'll click Woodhammer with Rillaboom, or U-turn with Rillaboom, because what else? Terra Electric. GG. Okay. Since I am running out of steam a little bit, I was going to say maybe I'll try to force Latias into this game, but this looks like a terrible, 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 no good, very bad matchup for Latias. So I'm not going to force it. It's not that kind of video, I guess. Zamazenta, Qianpao, Calyrex. Rillaboom would be nice to change the terrain, but I think Incineroar is more valuable overall here. Latias has had her moments. If she doesn't make it to another battle in this video, I think that's okay. We've definitely gotten her to put in work sometimes. We'll see. Alright, Grimmsnarl and Rapid Strike Urshifu. I'll go for the taunt into Grimmsnarl if they let me, and I'll try to get this Urshifu out of here. They get a Reflect. Once again, a Rapid Strike Urshifu misses the KO into my Chien-Pao. You'd love to see it. Unfortunately, there's nobody I want to switch in on the Surging Strikes. Well, actually, Zamazenta will go first anyway. Alright, let's just go for Icicle Crash into Grimmsnarl. If I lose Chien-Pao, it's been of some help already. Aqua Jet, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Them getting Farigiraf here is pretty awkward for me, especially since they still have Reflect up. I'm going to go Incineroar, though. Their Miraidon comes in. Obviously, I can't Fake Out. And it's Electric Seed Farigiraf, so knocking off will not remove its item. I had Taunt on Chien-Pao. I do not have Taunt on Incineroar. I'll just try to get damage into Miraidon. If possibly I can. I'll do that, and I'll click Parting Shot into Miraidon to get my Calyrex in. Helping Hand, Electro Drift into Incineroar. Incineroar survives, so hey, best possible outcome there. We get Body Press damage, we get Parting Shot, we get Calyrex. The awkward thing for them here is if they Trick Room, then Miraidon will be moving before Calyrex, but after Zamazenta. So it's kind of lose-lose. I mean, not that that's not to say that they can't win this game, but that specific part of it is kind of lose-lose. Psychic. They have Snarl on Miraidon. That'll weaken Calyrex, but Miraidon drops to a Body Press now. The Reflect just not doing enough for them there. They take out Calyrex. I think trading Calyrex for Miraidon is fine when I still have Zamazenta against Grimmsnarl and Farigiraf. I think I'm perfectly happy with that. Let's get rid of this Farigiraf. I also could click Will-O-Wisp into Grimmsnarl, but I think Grimmsnarl is just not doing anything if I remove the Farigiraf. Anyway, I mean, Zamazenta kind of just hard counters it. Farigiraf takes that Body Press annoyingly well, though. What can you do? Is there a way to lose to Farigiraf? I don't know, there might be. Good chance his last move is Psychic or Psychic Noise. Paralyzing Zamazenta is an interesting choice when you set Trick Room, but of course they can't get full paras out of it. And the reason I'm not stalling out the Reflect is that they can just set it right back up. Do not like that special defense drop there. Especially with Farigiraf still moving before Zamazenta and Trick Room. Oh well. I could have gone for like a double protect to get out of Trick Room, but I just wasn't feeling it. Spirit Break crit wraps it up, but I think the Farigiraf did enough anyway that Zamazenta wasn't going to be able to beat Grimmsnarl. So, alright, these two Pokemon were able to close it out for them. Fair enough, GG. I'm not going to give Latias some last send-off game like I've done for some of the others. I think Latias has done enough, and I think this has gone on long enough, and I think I'm ready to tap out after those last few games. Yeah, Latias got enough of a showcase. It's an interesting Pokemon, right? Because there are some matchups where it makes a lot of sense. At least it can kind of sit on the field, support its team, and shut some opponents down. And I think that dual screens Latias could have been interesting here as well, instead of the Tailwind Heal Pulse stuff. Although the Heal Pulse, the Tailwind was kind of whatever. The Heal Pulse was pretty valuable at some points. So maybe screens, Heal Pulse, Covert Cloak, Draco Meteor could have been interesting. But unfortunately, while some parts of this meta are comfy for Latias, a lot of the meta is very hostile to it. All three of the top restricteds are massive threats to Latias. Incineroar is everywhere. Chi-Yu is running around a lot. There were a lot of games where it felt like Latias was just not a reasonable bring, or Latias was very awkwardly positioned when it did hit the field. So, interesting Pokemon. Feels like it has a lot of potential that's not quite realized in this meta. I wouldn't be surprised to see Latias pop off in some future format, maybe in Gen 10 or something, but definitely hard to pull off right now. But got some nice moments here, and we'll move on and we'll see what legendary we get next time.